Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to the second installment of the Axe Tier List podcast channel, whatever you want to call it. Today, we are ranking NFL running backs and a couple of number twos because they complement the number ones pretty nicely. My name is Xander. I'm joined with my co-host, Avery. How you doing, Avery?
What's up, guys? I'm doing great.
Good.
Always nice to be here. Second installment. Gotta love it. Going strong.
Yes. Good showing on the last one so far. So hopefully those views just keep going up. We very much appreciate you guys for taking the time to view that because this is kind of just kind of for fun, and we really appreciate that.
One other thing, guys. If you want, go ahead, leave comments on the videos asking us what tier list you guys think we should do next.
Yeah, exactly. Drop recommendations, drop suggestions, even drop critical comments. We're open to all of that, and
love a good amount of feedback. That's all.
Love that. We would love the feedback. So without further ado, I say we get into the video.
Go ahead and get started.
All right, sweet. So ranking him on scale, just to quickly explain the scale: elite, the best of the best; A, just below the best of the best, but still very, very formidable; B would be just like mid-tier, kind of, maybe not mid-tier, but kind of like maybe not that flashy guy that you always think of, but he's still there and he's still a very good running back. C tier would be the guys that kind of just have faded in the number one role, and then D tier would be the guys that just really don't fit in with their team and haven't really produced because they don't fit in with their team, as a couple of guys do on this list. So, Avery, would you like to start us off with our first guy?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start him off with Alvin Camara. Now, thank you for letting me do this one first, as I am a Saints fan.
Of course.
Good start to my night.
Absolutely. Give you that little benefit.
So, Camara, he's an elite tier running back. We all know it. He's fantastic in the running game. I mean, he hasn't had 1,000 yards yet, but he doesn't need it because he covers for it in the passing game.
Yeah.
Now, in the passing game, sometimes he has more passing yards than rushing yards, which you don't usually see in a running back, but he makes it work. He scores a lot of touchdowns, has a lot of all-purpose yards, very productive, carried our offense last year.
He's been an all-pro, right?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
All right. Well, he is a Pro Bowler, so.
Yeah. He's definitely a Pro Bowler. I don't know if he's been an all-pro yet, but he's really, really good. He's on a fantastic trajectory for the rest of his career. I would love for him to stay with the Saints for the rest. He's our franchise running back, and it's that simple.
Absolutely. And there's not really much I can add other than he's got a very unique running style that I love to see. He's got this little dead arm, dead leg type thing. I say it all the time. I like styles of running backs, and his is just a very unique style. And I'm a guitar player, so it's like the Eddie Van Halen. I haven't really seen that from very many running backs, like that dead arm type of thing. But let's move on to Javonte Williams. I would rank Javonte Williams in the B tier only because it's only been one season. I can't.
That's exactly correct.
He had a great season last year. I'm not as a rookie running back, absolutely. And with Russell Wilson at the helm, he's only going to improve because he loves to run an offense through rushing offense mixed with that passing offense. But he really likes to give it to his running backs as well. But I can only say a B tier for right now, only because I haven't seen that much. But I'm sure he will get to that A elite tier at some point if his career progresses like I think it's going to, or like it's projected, then he will be an A to most likely an elite tier running back. But for right now, I can only rank him in a B. Avery, any thoughts on that?
Let's see. I don't think so. I mean, there's not much more to add. He's good. He had a fantastic season last season for a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he'll be the number one at some point, as soon as Melvin Gordon fizzles out a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
But considering what he's done so far, I think B tier is a really good, solid place for him.
Solid place. And honestly, if he upgrades that that passing game efficiency, he will be a great running back in this league. He will easily.
He'll be an A tier for sure.
He will be an A tier
for sure.
A tier for sure, elite prospect, and that is a high prospect if he gets that receiving game going. Anyway, moving on to a running back that I've got some questions about, but I could rank him solidly in a B tier, and that's James Conner. What do you have to say about that, Avery?
Now, so James Conner, how do I put this lightly? Yeah, he had 700 yards, which isn't great. But he had 15 rushing touchdowns, 3 in the passing game. I think he had 1,000 all-purpose. What more can you ask? I mean, the guy needs to focus more on, increasing his strength and being able to, bulldoze linebackers and the D-line, right?
Yeah.
If he can focus on doing that, then he can upgrade his yards per carry from I think it's 3 point something now to 4 point something, maybe even 5.
Hopefully.
That'll definitely give him A tier talent. But right now he has A tier potential very solidly in B tier based on what he did last season. His career's been okay. He had some good seasons, 2 bad seasons, and now a really nice bounce back season. And I think he's just going to continue this trajectory as a red zone threat is what he is. He's a main monster in the red zone.
Yeah, I don't think he has very much competition when it comes to people trying to take his job. I think he'll be the solid number 1 for the season for the Cardinals. Although they would need to try and give him a break a little bit. He's not a 3-down back just yet. I think he can be, but once he becomes that 3-down back and he really gets that agility going, he is a bruising back. He's gonna bowl over you. But if he gets even a little bit of agility, then there will be some. It's going to be a very scary running back to watch and to try and tackle. Moving on, first rookie of the board, Avery. Would you like to take him? You were very high on him when we talk off camera. You're very high on him. So would you like to take him?
I really like James Cook. I mean, I've told you this in the past. If he has 70% of Dalvin this season, it's 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns, maybe 10, which, I mean, as a rookie, that's phenomenal. That's the type of season you want to see from an A-tier talent. I think he's going to take Singletary's job. Maybe week 1, maybe week 2. Very early on in the season, I think he's going to become the new starter. He will emerge as the AFC variant of Dalvin, which is very scary for those in the AFC.
So, based on potential, where would you rank him? I have a thought in my head, but where would you rank him? A tier based on potential.
I think he has A tier potential.
He has A tier potential. Okay. I can see that. I would rank him as a B only because he's a rookie and we very rarely see rookies pop off when it comes to James Cook is a smaller guy. He's not as big as Dalvin and he's not as big and when he's not a freak athlete. Like Dalvin, like Derrick Henry. So I don't think I'm going to see that big of a season from him. I believe he'll have big seasons and I believe he'll be a star in the league. Absolutely. But for right now, I would solidly put him as a B, but I will give you the benefit of the doubt and we'll put him on A for potential because I think he has a very, very high ceiling. And as you said, 70% of Dalvin, if he even has 60% or 70% of Dalvin in him, that's going to be very scary for the AFC East and for the entire league.
The entire AFC.
So moving on, where is he playing now?
Mark Ingram.
I always make
still the backup on the Saints. He came
still
back.
the backup. Oh, that's right. He came back. So where would you rank? Because you would know more about this than I would, honestly. Because the last time I paid attention to Mark Ingram truly was when he was with the Ravens, and he wasn't bad, but he also had some injuries. So where would you rank Mark Ingram on a scale from elite to D?
This is a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is because, yes, he's a number 2, but on a bunch of teams, he could still be a 1.
Yeah.
Like, what he did while Camara was injured, it was more than serviceable. He had a 100-yard game. I think he had a 2-touchdown game, when Camara was gone. I loved it. However, he's not a starter right now. So that takes him down a little bit. I want to put him on the very high end of C tier.
Okay.
And I think that's very fair.
I think that's a good judgment. I think that's a fair judgment, just because we saw that we know what Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara can do together. We've seen it, but we didn't see it last season, and he's kind of up there in age, and I just don't know how this season's going to go. But if Kamara is out for a certain period of time, I think he will be a great backup, and I think he'll service the Saints very well. As he will, and as you mentioned, he could be a number 1 from multiple teams. So he's not like he's a bad running back. He's just the number 2 behind an elite running back who is going to take away more carries if he's available.
That's it. But overall, like he's still good. He's a little old. He's still good though.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still a serviceable running back. I'm not taking away from that. Anyway, moving on to the possibly still injured, but as we said, we are going off of availability, so he is healthy. Chris Carson, starting running back for the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks offense kind of got a little shaky, but where do you think Chris Carson will rank this season among the running backs in the NFL?
If he was healthy, I think he's a B-tier running back at best.
B-tier running back?
I haven't seen that much over the past couple of seasons to really make me think that he's anything above a B tier.
And I totally
agree. He's smaller. He gets stopped by the D-line a lot more often because he's not that good at finding holes. Mm-hmm. He's good at finding gaping holes because everyone is. But it's very difficult sometimes, as I've seen, for him to find those small gaps to, juke through and go for 10 yards rather than get stuffed by the D-line and go 1 or 2 yards, which is sometimes what he does. And it's difficult for me to rank him above B tier. It's probably the best I've seen from him.
Yeah, he's had some really bad games. The only thing that I would say is that, again, he's a big red zone guy. They're going to give it to him in the red zone a ton. But the other thing is that he's one of those bruising backs that can only get so far without without that agility that most that like a Saquon Barkley or a Jonathan Taylor has, or even just like
AJ
Dillon, Tony Pollard, any of the Josh Jacobs, who's a bruising back with a little bit of agility. He just needs to upgrade that. But right now, I think a B tier. He's also a significant. He has a significant role in the passing game, but I'm sure because of injury, he would be a little bit less of a threat in the passing game. But he's still a very good running back. He's still a B tier. So, and I would put him over multiple starting running backs in the league.
I would agree.
So, moving on from him, we have possibly, in my opinion, the most unfortunate story at running back right now, and that's Ronald Jones III. Ronald Jones is
hold on. I want to disagree with you for a moment. Let me just I'm going to disagree for a moment.
Go ahead.
He's the second unluckiest running back in the league right now based on his entire journey. I'm giving that to Raheem Mostert, and it's not even close. That dude, week 1, comes in, 4 rushes in, gets his ankle broken, gets his ACL torn. Yeah. His ear gets lobbed off. I don't know. Something always happens to him.
Something unfortunately happens, yes. But when it comes to like career projection, Raheem Mostert
Ronald Jones
was
pretty
very
bad.
high. It was very, very people were very high on Ronald Jones because he's an Iowa State running back, and those are pretty good over the years. Yeah. So people were very high on him, but unfortunately he just didn't pan out the way that they wanted him to. So for right now,
unfortunately he's stuck as a number 2.
He is stuck as a number 2, and he's not a bad number 2, but he's
fast. That's my problem. Fast. He's fast, and if he can get it going, he can get it going. Look at what happened 2 years ago. He had a 98-yard touchdown, but that's like the only thing he did.
Yeah, and he can't really get past the line, which is a huge problem with him.
Exactly, that's a big problem.
He needs open space to work his magic, and if he's not going to get into open space by not getting past the line, because he's a smaller frame guy, he's not a big guy, so he's really just a number 2 right now, and he's being overshadowed by the starting running back for the Bucs, who we'll talk about later. But for right now, he's the lower tier because he just can't. It's just not, not good.
It sucks, but
it's just an unfortunate situation. He could be a starter on a couple of teams, but it's just an unfortunate situation for him right now. All right, moving on. Wow. Let's go from the worst to first. I'm just gonna put him up there just because I don't think anybody's gonna put that. Jonathan Taylor, who had
I don't even have words, dude. I don't have any words.
In my entire time truly analyzing and watching football, I have never seen a running back do what he did. Yes, Derrick Henry had 2,000 yards, but Jonathan Taylor
was a little bit different.
1,800, but also had did he have 1,000 receiving yards or did he not have 1,000 receiving yards?
No, not even close.
But he
had
like a lot.
400 maybe 5.
Well, he still cleared the 2,000 barrier when it comes to
all purpose, absolutely.
So he killed it in touchdown. I don't know how many touchdowns he had, but he killed it in touchdown. Yeah, 21
18
touchdowns.
rushing, 3 receiving.
You can't argue with production right there. He's so agile, he's so quick, and he's a beast. He could run over you, and it's just a scary prospect. And he's so good. And anything you want to add there, Avery?
Yeah, I want to point out 2 key moments and one other thing, right? Mm-hmm. So here's that with Jonathan Taylor, out of the 17 games he played in last year, right? He, how do I put this? He rushed for 100 yards in 11 games. Each of those 11, I believe he rushed for 100 plus yards. And they won. I think they were 10-1 when he had 100 plus yards. They were almost undefeated when he had 100 plus yards. That proves right there that he is amongst the league's best in 2 years.
He's an X factor. He's an X factor on the field, and if he's off the field, it's a much harder time for the Colts.
Now, the two moments I wanted to point out, right, were let's go to week 17 for a moment last year. Sorry, week 18 when they faced the Jags and unfortunately lost. He still had 100 plus yards. He was still doing what he needed to do. He was firing on all cylinders. He was fantastic. The rest of the team sucked. That's great right there. And then, I don't know if you remember this, but I don't know what week it was. It was the Colts-Patriots game. Mac Jones throws an unbelievable touchdown, I believe, or Damian Harris runs for an unbelievable touchdown. One of the two happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they ended up, I believe they were down by 1 or 2, maybe 3, right? They got the ball. The Colts needed a first down. Jonathan Taylor rushes for a 71-yard touchdown to end the game.
Yeah, I do remember
Just
that.
breaks free of everyone and says, bye-bye, I'm ending the game now.
We're going home.
Doesn't stop for the first down. No, keeps going, getting 71 yards and a touchdown. I think he ended that day with 183 yards and 2 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. He was fantastic. He had 5 touchdowns against the Bills. Who does that? The Bills defense. Who? Nobody. Name me one.
I think Damian Harris rushed for 3 against them. I also think I'm wrong, but I think he rushed.
So, right.
But still, so, regardless, it's not 5 touchdowns. It's
funny talking about Damian Harris. Let's move on.
Absolutely. To the next guy, Damian Harris. Where would you rank Damian Harris right now?
I'm torn. A or B, convince me.
All right. So for right now, I'd rank him up an A. He's a very
because of last year.
Last year, he's a very efficient running back. He is now
900 yards, 15 touchdowns.
He has now proven he is the starter for the Patriots, and he's also pretty good in the passing game. So he's going to be a very nice complement to Mac Jones in that backfield, and that backfield is kind of like all over the place right now. But he's the one guy that's been the constant. Okay, yeah, we could definitely plug him in, and he's going to get his. So for right now, he's an A tier. I think he can make that jump to elite if he kind of just increases those yardage totals in total, like total scrimmage yards. But right now, those touchdowns are fine. I'll easily deal with 3, 4, 5 less than he has right now, and he'll still be an elite tier if he gets that yardage. But right now he's an A for me. What are you thinking?
I think you convinced me.
All right. I thought I might.
He's good.
He was one of my favorite running backs last season to watch, just because he was just this very shifty and efficient running back when it came to yards per carry and touchdowns. So I loved watching him last season. I'd always look up his highlights for the week. But
it was the only saving grace when watching a Patriots game. Let's put it that way.
This is true, but also Mac Jones. You know, you can't.
Mac Jones was good, yeah, but Damian Harris was the star of that offense.
Was very good. Let's not take away from the defense.
Yeah, they broke down a couple times, but besides for that, Damian Harris was the most consistent part of that offense, and I couldn't be happier for them. They found their franchise guy.
Yeah, they found their starting running back. I'm happy for him. Anyway, moving on to a guy that was a franchise running back, now is kind of teetering on the edge of RB1, RB2 with another guy on this list. Where would you rank Zeke Avery in terms of this list?
Depends. How harsh do you want me to critique his collapse recently? How much do you want me to take that into consideration?
You have the stage, my man. There is no holds barred on this one. You could go as hard or as easy as you want on these people.
I don't know. I mean,
last tier list,
he's good. He's good, but he's not the old Zeke. He's not the Zeke that ran for 1,500 yards and like 14 touchdowns. He's not that Zeke anymore. We've seen it. You know, I think someone's going to take his starting job. I think they're going to start to move out of less of a tandem thing. And the next guy the guy we'll talk about later on the Cowboys will take his job. That's my opinion. I think he would probably be the best RB2 in the league.
Okay.
But RB2. Running back 1, he's definitely in the bottom half, maybe the bottom quarter.
All right. So where would you put
1,000 yards this season and 10 touchdowns, which was fine. I mean, that's a good season. But I still don't see old Zeke. I want to put him at top of C tier.
Top of C? Yeah, I would say top of C tier. Very, very. I think he would be the highest C tier in there, just because he has that possibility to return to old Zeke form and, tear it up. and go
exactly.
back to
but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to be the way he is.
I don't see it. I think I see him getting an increase into the B tier next season, but I just don't see him higher than that and for the rest of his career. I don't know what happened to him, but he was just so good. I wish that he didn't have that. Anyway, back to staying in the NFC East, excuse me. Miles Sanders. So for him, it's interesting. Miles Sanders had a terrible season last year. 700.
God, it was bad.
So I'm not even trying to sugarcoat that. I'm not even trying to sugarcoat that guy. 700 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Zero.
I'm not going to say I can do better because I would get snapped in half by a defensive tackle, but I could at least get 1 touchdown.
Yeah,
I could at least get a touchdown in there, at least 1, right? So it's just something to say.
Let's put it this way. There are some second choices I would take over Miles Sanders.
Fantasy. Absolutely. And
as their number 2 running back or number 1. As their number 1.
Now, yeah. I would say that without like last season, if he, made it over 1,000 yards or got 1,200 yards and didn't score a touchdown, I guess I could put him in like low B, high C, but right now I can't put him anything higher than I think our highest D tier running back.
Yeah, I think he's like one of 2 or maybe 3 starters that would be in D tier.
And I don't even know what happened. He needs to show everybody that he isn't just Zeke's backup. Or Saquon's backup at Penn State. He needs to make a name for himself.
Yeah.
And he needs to do that quickly. And I think with the Eagles' revamped offense, he'll have a chance with that. But right now he is not that good. And I can't rank him higher than a very high D. He's not a low D like or mid or low D like Ronald Jones, but he is a high D. Anyway, moving on. DeAndre Swift, one of the breakout studs last year.
I love this man.
I love I almost said Devontae. I love
DeAndre Swift. I love him. He is good.
I would say
I think he's criminally underrated.
Yeah,
I think people throw him off because he's on the Lions.
Yeah, he's not talking.
Another running back that was on the Lions that was fantastic. A lot better than DeAndre Swift, but still fantastic.
Oh.
Barry Sanders.
This is
back in the 80s and 90s. Yep. He was fantastic, but he was on the Lions, so people criminally underrated him for the first little bit of his career, and then he proved people wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will be close to the same situation where people are going to write him off early,
and he's going to
prove them wrong and rush for 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, something unbelievable. And people are going to be like, he's good.
I think next year he has a breakout season and he scores over 20 because he is a huge passing threat. I think he scores over 20 all-purpose touchdowns.
He acts like a wide receiver 3 or 4. He acts like a slot, which is fantastic.
I would take him in the slot over
whoever else they have.
I would take him in the slot over some NFL team slot receivers right now. So if that doesn't say that you're good in the passing game as a running back, I don't know what does.
Exactly. I think he's good, and I think he has elite tier potential. Just give me one or two more
seasons like last season. Absolutely, give me 1 or 2 seasons like last season.
He'll be an elite running back for sure.
Elite running back. Now, moving on to very interesting one, but one of my favorite running backs due to the prospect that he has on this offense right now. And that's Josh Jacobs. Now, Avery, I don't know where you'd rank him, but based on skill and prospect, I know his production has not been great for the past couple seasons, but he has that factor that, like, if he's healthy, and we're assuming that he's healthy all 17 games, he is an A-tier running back. He's got passing game efficiency. He has rushing efficiency. good red zone target slash efficiency as well. And he's got that, again, health-wise, he needs to stay healthy. But if he does, he's got a huge breakout potential, and I think he has a slight chance to get into that elite tier next season or the season after that. But for right now, I can only rank him as an A due to the prospect. Where would you rank him, Avery?
Now, I have one issue, and it's not Josh Jacobs' fault.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed last year that the Raiders ran like the same run plays over and over and over again in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
People figured him out so quickly, they only allowed him like 40 rushing yards. You know?
Yeah.
It's partially their fault. But he does have his faults. He has a fumble problem.
This is
true. He can't get past the D-line sometimes. He gets tackled too often, even when he's in open space. He can't clear DBs. However, his skill and potential, in this case, I think it's too early on to say that his performance outweighs his skill and potential. So I think it's fair to say, but I want to put him like border AB.
He's only
had A, but like
3 seasons?
I think 3 seasons. I think he joined in 2019.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a little early to say that prospect is overrun.
Let him hit his prime this year or next year, and then we'll say.
If his prime if he has a good prime, he can definitely be if he has a bad prime, it will be lower. But right now he can be that elite guy if he has a very, very good prime. Anyway, moving on to the man that we were talking about. We're going to talk about Tony Pollard, the breakout running back 2 for the Cowboys. Where would you rank him, Avery?
Now, this one's more interesting than Josh Jacobs, and I'll tell you why. It's because he's a number 2, but he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be. This man's a 1, and he proved it last year. He's better than a bunch of ones in this league. He's deceptively fast. More than Cooper Kupp, in a sense. Nobody expects a running back 2 to blow past him on, stretch routes and wheel routes and, other stuff like that, right? He's really good. He is, I don't know. I really like him. He's one of my more favored running backs in the league.
So where would you rank him?
I really enjoy watching him. I think he has A tier potential. I want to put him in B tier just because he's splitting carries right now. Make him an RB1, give him a full season, he'll be an A tier, no problem. That's my hot take here.
And that sounds just about where I'm at with Tony Pollard right now. He's a great running back too, and I hope that he gets that starting job. But for right now, can't really put him higher than a B just because he's a running back too.
All right, I think he's the highest. But I do want to say I think he's the highest or tied for the highest number 2 in this league.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I would say he's the highest RB2.
I'd say he's the best number 2 in this league. Yeah,
I would say he's the best number 2. It would be between him.
We'll talk about Kareem Hunt later, but
this is true. But again, he's kind of like the Javonte Williams situation. Like they've got somebody who is a number 1 and is complementing the number 1 really well.
Exactly.
And splitting carries. Anyway, moving on to the AFC North, Joe Mixon. I'm just gonna say this right now. He's an elite running back.
That's it.
My dude is so good, so fast, so shifty, so deceptively strong too. He breaks some tackles that you're like, oh wow, okay. Well, you are a little bigger than I thought you were. So he is a very, very good running back. He excels.
He slipped off Aaron Donald in the Super Bowl.
Exactly, and he excels in the passing game. He absolutely excels. He is a great dual threat running back. And for the Bengals, when they lock him up for however long, if he hasn't already signed an extension, then they're going to get an elite running back for years to come. And if that soul line just keeps getting better, he's going to be. If there's like God tier, maybe he'll reach that level.
He's really good.
Yeah, if you want to talk about prospect mixed with production, this guy could be the best running back in the league soon. And it's scary because it's the Bengals who have him, and I'm a huge Steelers fan.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
But he's definitely an elite tier running back, for sure.
Going from the AFC to the NFC, Leonard Fournette, I would rank him up at a solid A.
Playoff Lenny.
Playoff Lenny.
I'm going to latch onto the playoff part here. He is an A-tier running back in the playoffs, which matters most. However, you can't be a playoff running back without making it to the playoffs in the first place. Not to say the Bucs won't make it to the playoffs every year for the next 5 years, but because I think Tom Brady will play till he's 50. But but Leonard Fournette he's solid. Mm-hmm. I think he can get caught up here and there. He's good at breaking tackles. He's good at finding holes. He can rush for a lot of yards per carry. But he's more of, I think he has a lot more confidence in the playoffs than he does in the regular season, which makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. But it's just for that reason and that reason only I want to put him at the highest end of B tier.
Okay.
I don't think he's A tier yet. Give him another season. Okay. Give him 1,000 yards.
I'll give you that one.
But playoff?
He did that. He did have that.
Borderline.
He did also. The only reason why I said he was A is because it's a big thing with running backs, that red zone efficiency. I'm going to say it a ton for all the running backs.
Yeah, he's really good in the red zone.
Up there. So that's why I would give him an A. But I can easily rank him as a high B as well, because he's a low A for me.
Just think about him as James Conner with less touchdowns in the regular season and a lot better in the postseason. That's how I think of Leonard Fournette. So moving on.
He really revitalized his career in Tampa. All right, moving on to a guy that did not play at all very much last season. Did not play very much last season due to the fact that Jonathan Taylor was their number one guy. But Marlon Mack, who is now on the Texans. How are we feeling about this, Avery? I don't even know how to feel about this one.
It's a D tier. I don't think we need to talk about him at all. He hasn't played in God knows how long.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
He's like an RB3 at best. He's like come in for situations when both 1 and 2 are tired.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago he had injury problems. He tore his ACL, so you can't really come back from that. But last season, I mean, Jonathan Taylor took the job, so Marlon Mack was not needed anymore. Due to the fact that 2 seasons ago Jonathan Taylor came in.
Jonathan Taylor was a team.
Yeah. So there's not really any saving grace for Marlon Mack at this point for the past couple of years of production. Although the year before, 3 years ago, he had a great year. Great year. But right now on the Texans, it's going to be a very big struggle to get your career off the ground from there. Moving on to a guy that I'm not really too high on this season due to the fact that James Conner's here, but Chase Edmonds.
Well, Chase Edmonds ain't on the Cardinals no more.
Where is he? Did we ever figure out where
he's
he
on
was?
The Dolphins.
That's right. He's on the Dolphins. Okay, well now he's going to split time with
Gaskin.
Well, now he's got to split time with Raheem Mostert, Myles Gaskin, and what's his name?
And
So yeah, this is going to be very interesting for Chase Edmonds. I really can't. He's definitely a running back too, and I can't put him higher than a D if we're going starting running backs because he's got to split carries with 4 guys. It's going to be really hard to. And I'm sure one of those guys, not named Chase Edmonds, will win the starting job before Chase Edmonds. So I just don't feel I can rank him higher. He is a high D though. Like I'm not saying that he's the worst running
borderline C. Just give him more. If he had more of a chance.
Yes, his situation is just not great right now.
Exactly. All right,
anyway, moving
on to our second rookie.
Breece Hall.
There we go.
Loved Breece Hall.
Love his talent.
Love Breece Hall.
Potential.
His potential is insane. Now, he's on the Jets right now, so for right now, this season...
Michael Carter made the Jets running backs look pretty good.
This is true. Say. But for right now, we got to put him at a B tier, because right now,
I think we got to put him in B tier.
If we rank Michael Carter right now, if he's actually on the list, no, it doesn't look like it. If we rank Michael Carter right now, he would be a B tier. He would be a B tier because he made the Jets look good, and that's running game rising. And that's hard to do. They still need a lot.
They don't have running backs ever.
They still need a lot of pieces on that O-line, but for right now, I could put him at a B tier because I think he'll make do with what he has. I think he'll have an 800-yard season, probably 4 or 5 touchdowns, nothing major, but I think he'll have a decent season for a rookie running back.
I agree.
And I think he and are going to be the futures of the AFC East, in my opinion. Yeah. And I'm hoping that. All right, so moving on now to Javonte Williams' tandem partner, Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon is another B-tier running back. Melvin Gordon...
Based on last season, yes.
Yes, Melvin Gordon...
Based on the last 2 or 3, he's a top C-tier running back.
Yeah, but that's also and the last couple of years he has also dealt with injuries. 2020 was a lost year for a lot of people. So for a lot of,
but he's a big red zone threat. He got a bunch of touchdowns. He got 900 yards. He's a good running back. Yeah. He could still be a number one
red zone threat. And he could he would be a number one. I would take him on a number one team. I mean, right now I'd take him on the number one on the Bills. I mean, I know James Cook is the prospect starter, but right now on the Bills, right now I'd take him number one.
I'd take him on the Dolphins.
I'll take him on the Dolphins. I'll take him on the Jets. Have Breece Hall run behind him for a little bit. I'd take him on the Jaguars. There are a lot of teams that I would take him on.
Exactly. I wouldn't take him on the Jaguars. James Robinson.
I mean, Travis Etienne is a good one, and a James Robinson. But I don't know. I feel like if you gave him the pure number one role, Melvin Gordon would thrive in the Jaguars system. But
I think this is a fine place to put him. I think this is good.
Mm-hmm.
He's they're about on the same level with Javonte Williams.
Yeah. They're on the same level together. They are splitting carries pretty evenly.
They literally had almost identical stats last season, which is insane. That's almost a 50-50 split, which you never, ever see, like a true 50-50 split. But the Broncos trust them, and it worked well for them last year. Even though their record didn't show it, they still did well. Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. So I think B tier is good enough. So moving on to, I'd say injury-wise, one of the most unfortunate running backs. Xander, you wanna kick us off with this one?
Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, this is a sad one.
Yeah, I really loved his prospect and his potential, but his injuries have just plagued his career.
No, it's not there. Unfortunately, the injuries took over his career. He's plagued and bound to not do well. It's unfortunate. And there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing he can do about it, really.
And when he starts, sorry about that. Go ahead. Sorry. When he starts, he's a great running back, but Raheem Mostert right now needs to just stay off the injured list, and he can easily move up to C or B tier. But right now, D tier is where he's at. He's really going to be on a backup role on the Dolphins, so I can't rank him too much higher than that.
Yeah.
Moving on to a guy that I don't really talk about much. Don't think I'm going to talk about him much over the season, but Devin Singletary. Great running back prospect last year, and this year he is looking to revitalize his career and maybe not his career, but get a good second season going, build off that rookie season. But for right now, unfortunately, Avery's not with us, so I will just be continuing alone for a little bit. Devin Singletary, for right now, is a C-tier running back. He's a good running back. He's a good starter, but he's not like that big flashy guy that everybody's going to remember. But he's still a very, very good running back. Moving on, we are going to go to Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey is easily an elite tier running back. Now, injuries have started to take over his career, and they're starting to not do him justice when it comes to it, but he still works with what he has. And throughout the injuries, he has been a phenomenal running back. There has been no doubt about it. He is one of the best running backs in the league when healthy, and he proved it. He always proves it every season. We got him back there.
Sorry, I'm back.
Fortunately, I had to do a couple of without you, but
I had to. I had to deal with something for a moment. Can I give my 2 cents for a moment about Devin Singletary?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I don't think he's going to have a starting role this season. I don't. I mean, he'll probably start at the beginning, but I don't think by the end of the season he'll be the starter. It's very unfortunate, but I think he's going to be overshadowed by James Cook, a guy we'll talk about later. Oh no, we already talked about him. Sorry. I think James Cook is going to take his job and as a starter, and I think C tier is a little bit nice, but I think he needs one more very unproductive season to be a D tier running back. But for now, I think C tier is fine. Now, I'm questioning McCaffrey a little bit. Yeah, when he's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the league. Top 3 right now. But, that I worry about his consistency. I worry, However, I know what he can do. He's one of the only 1,000 receivers, running backs ever. He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think skill and, what's it called? And based on what we know he can do and skill alone, he is an elite tier running back. I'll give it to you. But
he's got to stay off the injured list. He's got to stay off the injured list. He's got to stay off the injured list. And I did mention that. I needed somebody. Oh, we got a viewer. Huh. That's
At some point, even when we're discussing healthy rosters, if you get injured too much, we don't even know what you look like healthy anymore. Right? At some point, enough is enough. So if he stays healthy, my God, is he going to have one of the best bounce back seasons we've ever seen.
And I hope he does, because
I'm most likely
going to have him in fantasy. So
if not, I think he moves out of the elite category, unfortunately. But for now, he'll be an elite tier running back. Sure.
All right. I am super, super happy that you agree with me on that. I was hoping that you didn't say to put him at A, because I was like, there's no way he's going to go to A. Like he's such a good running back.
I can't.
And if we're assuming health, as we said, then yeah, he's going to be an elite tier
right now. Yeah. Moving on
to Antonio Gibson, starting running back for the Washington Commanders. I think
he's good.
He is good.
He's good.
He's good. Okay, we'll put him up
there.
I
think he's like the saving grace of that offense right now.
You go ahead. I just did 2 running backs. You go ahead. You gush over the man's Antonio.
Let's put it this way. Besides for McLaurin, he's the saving grace of this offense. And I think he plays a bigger role. The reason being, is because McLaurin relies on a quarterback. Running back relies on the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
Washington's O-line is a little bit shaky. It's not great, but it's still very serviceable. And Antonio Gibson could go ahead and get 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
With McLaurin, on the other hand, right, he needs a quarterback. Washington hasn't had a consistent quarterback in a while. So Antonio Gibson is the backbone of this offense right now. And he's doing his job.
Yes.
Very, very well. Continue like this, he could be a candidate for elite tier in the next 2-3 years.
Just the one ailment that I would have with his situation is just his injuries. But again, we're assuming health, so there's no real problem with that. But he does need to also stay off. He's not really on the injured list for an extended period of time, but he also needs to just stop missing games with these injuries. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's not his fault, but gotta at least stay off the injured list somehow. Moving on to possibly one of the best running backs. I could put him up at elite. Where would you put him, Avery?
He's my favorite running back in the league.
So you're saying he's your favorite running back in the league? What about Alvin Kamara?
Yes. He did what Camara could do better. Last season, he had 1,800 all-purpose yards and 20 touchdowns. I'm not taking that away from him. He's so good. You know what the best part is, and one of the reasons why he's my favorite running back in the league right now?
Hmm?
He was undrafted, and he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
He went from undrafted to elite running back.
One of the best in the league.
Which is
this.
And he needs, and as long as he can continue the production, he'll remain an elite running back. I don't see him, and I also just did with the projection of this Chargers offense, I just don't see him regressing too much.
Let's put it this way. We just saw what he could do healthy.
Yeah.
That's scary. Yeah. That's a little scary.
That's really scary. Moving on to running back one for the Rams right now, Cam Akers.
Yes.
Where would you rate Cam Akers? I would rate him up at a C. I haven't seen that big of a production with him in the past couple of years. But
I think I only need to point to one moment to really prove our point here.
And what's that?
Excuse me. And you guys can disagree with us in the comments, However, this is my point.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Akers, right? If we go back to the divisional round where they faced the Bucs, they were up by 17?
Yes.
Cam Akers fumbles twice, turns into 2 touchdowns, makes it down by
3.
Ties the game back up.
Yeah.
Because they had the field goal in between. But besides the point, you can't do that in crucial moments and call yourself a number one. Yeah, you can't. You need to be there in the biggest moments. He's unfortunately not.
Yeah, and
I wish he was, because I think he could be really, really good. I just need more. And I need more in those, defining moments. These are career-defining moments.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If you can't perform under the pressure, I don't care if you have 1,200 yards in the season and 18 touchdowns. I don't care. If you can't perform under pressure, that limits you from a certain tier and above. Mm-hmm. And he's a lot worse than that in terms of production. So I think he has to stay in C tier. I think that's a good place for him.
Yeah, I think so too. Moving on, back to the NFC North. We're going with David Montgomery. David Montgomery he's a B tier running back. I love David Montgomery. I love me some David Montgomery. Now he needs to also figure out his fumble situation. He holds the ball very well, but he's got a couple of times where he fumbles it, and you can't fumble the ball regardless. But his times are just sometimes in crunch time, and he can't fumble it in crunch time, man.
I agree.
that's why he's a B tier, but he has the potential to be an A tier. I mean, shoot me, but I think he has the potential to be an elite tier because, I mean,
he needs to get off the Bears.
Yes, he needs to get off the Bears, or the Bears just need to get better. But regardless,
they fixed their O-line. He could be a really, really good running back for years to come.
Needs to work on that passing game efficiency as well.
Exactly. He needs to become more of a dual threat because that's what Justin Fields needs right now because he's getting swarmed by defenses because of that O-line.
Yeah.
So I think B tier is a good place to put him.
B tier is a good place. Yeah.
All
right. Moving on to a shell of a man.
Probably the most interesting guy on this list.
Yeah. I can't. Man, because it's Saquon,
low end of B tier.
Because it's Saquon, I gotta put him at the low end of B tier, but I could easily put him in the C tier because what happened? I mean, you tore your ACL, but you were hyping yourself up so much to come back, and you had like 800 yards and was still on the injury list a couple of games. So
less than some backups.
Get back to whatever it is. Get back to rookie year Saquon, and bam, you got yourself back to an elite running back. But right now, Saquon's just a B. Any other thoughts on that, Avery?
No, you've covered you fired on all cylinders on that.
All right, cool.
He's a B tier.
I don't like pointing out the bad because I loved Saquon and he was such a great.
When he's good,
player.
I love him.
He's healthy.
He's not good right now.
He's healthy, man. Anyway, back to the NFC North. We just covered David Montgomery. Now we're going to cover the Bears' rivals running back. The Bears. Bears' rivals running back. AJ Dillon. Where would you rank him?
Where am I ranking a guy whose nickname is Quadzilla? B tier.
B tier? Okay.
I really like this man.
You like him? Okay.
He went from running back 2 in the beginning of the season to splitting carries with Aaron Jones to becoming the main choice on first down. Doesn't mean he's a number 1.
No.
He's still splitting carries with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is really good. But AJ Dillon he's climbing.
He's climbing, yeah. And
he's a bruiser. He's a mini Derrick Henry.
AJ run through a mother-faced Dillon. Yeah.
He's amazing.
That is my nickname for him. Because I one time saw him, they were at the goal line and they ran it and Dillon just bowled over a middle linebacker. And I was just like, all right, that's my new nickname for you. AJ run through face Dillon. Like he is a very, very big bruising back.
He's really good.
Like he's a good starter.
Yeah.
If he was a starter, he could be a good starter. Yeah. All right, moving on. Elijah Mitchell, a rookie last season, very much excelled in that. Was a little bit prone to the injury list.
I like him though.
But I like him a lot. I would rank him. There's going to be a lot of guys in B tier, but I would rank him in B tier.
He's a B tier running back.
Just because he's very efficient in the passing game, and he has that. He had 800 or 900 yards last year.
He had 900 yards, I think.
So he's got serious potential, and he was only a rookie, so he was really only scratching the surface of what he can do. And I think after a year of development, some OTAs, some training camp, he's going to be ready for this season, and hopefully he stays off that injury list and he can be a stud. And I think that he has the potential to be an A tier running back.
I think I agree. I really like what I saw from him last year. And the thing is, I think it's a practice problem, not an O-line problem, right?
Yeah,
It's not like the O-line stopping him from getting so many carries. I think he just needs practice. He was a rookie last year.
They were giving him 25, 30 a game last year.
Oh, yeah, but what I'm saying is loading the holes faster.
Yeah.
Get 5-6 yards a carry.
Yeah. It's all about
that's an A-tier running back right there if he continues this. But right now, since he was a rookie last year, and I saw some good things, but I also saw some iffy things here and there. B tier is a good place for him.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, moving on. Guy that was injured last year, unfortunately, blew out his ACL. J.K. Dobbins. Where would we rank him in terms of running back? I would say right up there in the A tier, only because the year before he was proving to us that he was that guy. And then he came out this year, week 1, blew out his ACL. Now he's coming back fresh off.
No, I don't think he blew his ACL in week 1. I thought he blew his ACL before the season started. Same with J.K. Dobbins. Same with
did both Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins both?
I think they were done before the season started.
Oh, okay. So even worse. He was done before the season, and he was really showing us. But we ranked James up here with strictly potential going for him. So I think J.K. Dobbins with that potential, and then showing us what he can do. I think coming off of that injury, he's going to be back up to that A-tier running back. Moving on, Nahim Hines.
Wait, before we go to Nahim Hines, I want to say one thing about J.K. Dobbins, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't the Ravens that season have 3,000 rushing yards?
Yes.
Didn't they have Lamar, J.K. Dobbins, and Gus Edwards hit 1,000? Or was it just 1,000 combined and Gus Edwards was close?
Also, J.K. Dobbins is a huge passing threat as well.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying they are the definition of a mystery in the NFL's offense.
Yeah.
Because the NFL is a pass-heavy offense. But when J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Lamar Jackson are on the field, it's a very different story. It's amazing to watch all three of them, especially J.K. Dobbins. I really like what I saw from him. I hope he can do the same thing after what happened to him last year.
And I hope that he can continue off where he left off 2 years ago, because it would be great to see. Obviously, not really great because I'm in the Ravens and the Steelers and the Cliven, but you gotta just gotta hope for the guys that tear their ACL to come back and revamp their career, because you'd hate to see the guy get injured like that and just lose it.
Yeah.
Moving on, Nahim Hines. I'm not going to say too much about him. I'm only going to say that he is D tier only because he is a pure backup. There's no way he is taking that starting job away from Jonathan Taylor. So I would just say D tier. Any thoughts on that?
No, he's not good. I mean, he's shown flashes of okay, but he's
number 2.
Yeah, I mean, even if we were to try to place him on other teams to be a number 1, there's like 2 teams I could think of.
A couple of teams that he would be all right for.
Anyway,
moving on. Yeah. Right, keep going. You think he's a D tier? Sorry. Oh, wait. Sorry. I thought I ranked him.
No.
I was looking.
No. D tier.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. No. D tier. Right. Awesome.
Aaron Jones.
Moving on. Aaron Jones. I would put him just at that A tier.
Thank God we're speaking the same language.
I've seen more of Aaron Jones than AJ Dillon, and Aaron Jones has proved to me that he could be the best dual threat back.
Phenomenal.
He can be the best dual threat back in the league. 2 years ago he was. Last year was a little shaky, but I mean that's also because most of the passes went to Davante Adams, and rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
But he has shown me production. He has shown the league that he can be one of the best running backs in the league, and he's an A-tier running back for now. But I think I think he's going to regress a little bit. Oh no, sorry. I think he'll progress a little more. Maybe not up to the elite, but I think he'll progress a little more due to the fact that Aaron Rodgers now has absolutely nobody to throw to. That is big name. They got Alan Lazard and Christian. What's his name? It's not Christian Walker. He's on the
Christian Watson.
Christian Watson. That's what it is. All right. So I was getting the half right. It was Christian W. But yeah, no, I think Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are going to both thrive this season in their roles as running back, as a tandem running back duo. Moving on to Daryl Henderson, the complement to Cam Akers. Where would you rank Daryl Henderson? I could really only
D tier.
I could put him in the D tier. I could also put him in the C tier safely, just because I think that both skill sets are pretty matched when it comes to Henderson and Akers. But yeah, D tier for right now. Henderson is not.
Yeah, I need to see a little bit more for me to say that they're on equal skill level. I've seen a little bit more from Cam Akers.
We're going off of availability this season. He has not been available the past couple seasons, so he needs to really step that up. But I'm rooting for him. The Memphis product he's a good guy. He's a very solid running back. He's a good guy. He's a very solid running back at Memphis. So I'm really rooting for him in his career, and so hopefully he can either get a job elsewhere as a running back one, or to be that like a Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams type of tandem with what's his name, Cam Akers.
Yeah.
So moving on, James Robinson. 2 seasons ago, I would have easily put him at the elite tier. For right now, he is I could honestly put him at
top of B tier.
Top of B tier, yeah, I could put him at B tier right now. He definitely has that rushing yard, he has the rushing yards and the rushing and the receiving stats, but he's very inconsistent. And
yeah, but he's still the star of that offense.
This is true, but that's not saying much on the Jags. And
fair point.
Fair point. Now, I'm not taking away from the Jags offense. They've got a hugely revamped offense right now, and Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to be a stud for years and years to come at some point, but not right now. It is very hard to be. It's not hard to be the best player on the Jaguars right now. It could have been the best player, best offensive player. The best player on the Jaguars, hands down, is Josh Allen. But for right now, as we're ranking running backs, he is only a B tier. So moving on, Cordarrelle Patterson. I'm just going to put him at a C, just because I don't. He was a great threat last year for the Falcons, but I think that's just a 1-year thing. I think he'll at some point just regress back to the kind of sporadic get out there and get those chunk plays. Now, if he doesn't, I'm rooting for him, but I just don't see a ton of career progression from here on out. What about you?
See, here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you mention Cordarrelle Patterson's name, when anybody mentions it, the immediate thing I think of is a wide receiver, not a running back.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a massive passing threat, but I think his
rushing threat is not.
His rushing game could use a lot of work, but he's also old and past his prime.
Past his prime, and he's also, as you said, he started out last year was his first year playing running back. So yeah. But again, I don't see very much career progression. I think
he's a wide receiver. He's a return man,
but he's not going to be an elite running back.
Yeah, no.
Back to the Chiefs, guy who got injured last year, was out for most of the season. Clyde Edwards Hilaire, where would you rank him, Avery?
C at best.
C at best? Okay. Why would you say C at best? Because I got him at a B tier due to the fact that he is a huge threat in the passing game. And with that Chiefs offense, that is big. So
he's another fumble problem.
Fumble problem.
Another one of those fumble cases.
I see that too. Yeah, fumble problem.
He seems like the type of guy to have more fumbles than touchdowns in a season, which is a very big problem.
Yeah.
You can't turn the ball over more than you score.
Yeah.
That doesn't let you into the B tier category. If we look at any of those guys in the B tier, none of those guys do that.
No.
None of them.
Very rarely.
However, very rarely, I'll say. However, I think he fits better here in the C tier. That's my 2 cents. If you disagree,
I don't disagree. I'm not saying that your points are wrong. I was just saying I could rank him a little higher due to the fact that his efficiency in the passing game and occasionally the red zone is really good. But you did say that the fumble problem does bring him down for me. I did forget about the fumble problem, which I shouldn't have, but
All right, moving on to while I start talking, do you want to go ahead and create a new tier?
Yeah, we'll just create king.
Go create a new tier. Do it.
Okay, sounds good.
Where do I even begin? Let's begin this way. Last year, yeah, he had 930 yards. He had 10 touchdowns. He played 9 games.
Yeah, he had a whole season's worth of stats in 9 games, dude. King tier.
I think he was top 10 in the league. I think he was like top 15 in the league.
Oh, I love Daryl.
In half the time.
I can't believe that. I still can't believe he had 900 yards and 10 touchdowns in 9 games. Oh.
Now, here's my only thing that I want to say about Derrick Henry. Okay? Mm-hmm. He is the best in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
Take away Kareem Hunt, I think we have a very different conversation. I think we actually have a conversation if you take away Kareem Hunt. But with that, for Nick Chubb. But
okay.
But with that being said, he is the best running back in the league. It's not even close. Can you make that red?
Red. Yeah.
You know why? Because he's out for blood.
We'll make it even
better. Out for blood.
We'll just make it gray.
Just make it red. He's out for blood.
Yeah, he spares no man. He spares absolutely nobody. Anyway, moving on to the
hold on. One last thing. I would put, if I had the ability to do so, without it putting such a huge dent in my wallet, and on comeback player of the year. Easy.
Okay. Yeah. No.
If you have a Jones fracture, you can be comeback player of the year the next year.
Oh yeah.
He's top on everyone's list. It's not even close. Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas are the next 2.
Mm-hmm.
But their odds are a lot lower than Henry.
Yeah.
You'd practically almost lose money if you put money on him before the season starts. But I would do it anyway. I don't care. I want to win something.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. But yeah, he's the best in the league right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So moving on to the back 9, Gus Edwards, where would you put him in?
I think he's B tier with A tier potential.
B tier with A tier potential. Yeah, no, I think he is a good 1-2 punch. He's that power back that really complements J.K. Dobbins' agile back type of ways. He's a great red zone threat. And he's also deceptively fast for a bigger guy. And I'm not saying he's a speedster, but he is deceptively fast for a bigger guy. So he can
but it's scary.
Big, yeah, and he can break away for those big chunk plays that you need. And he's also a good threat in the passing game. He's not as good as a threat as J.K. Dobbins, but he is a very good threat in the passing game.
I mean, they don't call him the bus for nothing.
This is true.
I mean, you put a human being in front of a bus going even...
Let's not forget who the
20
real
miles
bus is.
An hour, 20 miles an hour, it'll hurt a lot.
Let's not forget who the real and original bus is, though. And that's
Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
But I definitely see a lot of Jerome Bettis in a slimmer body with a little bit more agility in Gus Edwards.
Yeah. All right. I like it. Moving
on to the guy who looks like he's in a straitjacket.
Prospect. The Under Armour and the everything. Gotta love him. One of the Heisman finalists last year, or not a finalist, one of the Heisman nominees last year, had a absolute, just phenomenal season at Michigan State, and a guy the Seahawks drafted in round 3. So, based on potential, I put him up at B. But right now, I can only put him at a D because they have Rashad Penny and...
I don't care. And I want to say why. Look at what we did with James Cook. Okay?
Right.
I know Devin Singletary is lower. However, we didn't consider him as a number 2. I don't know if Rashad Penny's going to pan out as the number 1. So I want to take him under the same consideration based on potential because he's a rookie.
Okay,
right?
that's
based on potential as a starter. He's on the same tier as James Cook, if not higher. But I want to keep him in A
based
tier.
on potential as a starter. If he's starting all 17 games, no split carries, yeah, he's an A. But with split carries, like he most likely will, he's probably a B. But yeah,
based on potential and what I think he can do in the league,
yeah,
you don't not put a Heisman finalist in A tier.
Potential wise, This list is going to look weird to a lot of people, so
I think so.
It's gonna,
but that's the fun of it all, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't want to be. We really don't want to be the stereotypical tier list that are going to really follow what everybody says. We're going to really just put our minds into it, and this is what we think.
Exactly.
So yeah, we love it. And now, speaking of the Seahawks, Rashad Penny. Now, I'm not saying Rashad Penny's bad, but Rashad Penny's not the greatest. So I would put him in the C tier thing right now. I can't put him any higher.
I think with the last 5 games of last season, he showed B tier skill. He was good.
Yeah.
In the last 5 games of the season, but that was the last 5 games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He was serviceable at best.
Yes.
For the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So C tier is fine. Yeah. Keep him there.
Ooh, excuse me.
Now this is an interesting one. I like this one. Naji Harris.
Naji. Mini Henry
already.
Mini Henry. What?
Can we say elite already?
No, he is definitely A tier though. I've only seen 1 season from him.
I know. But he had Big Ben as a quarterback and a very shaky O-line.
He had a phenomenal season, yes. But I've only seen 1 season.
I agree. Fine.
And I can only put him in an A for now. Now, he's got that elite potential. I mean, shit, he's got that king tier potential. But for right now, he's only an A tier. For right now, he's only an A tier. I'm not saying that he's a very formidable starter. I love him. I love Naji Harris.
I think talent and potential wise, he's an elite tier running back. However, it's only been 1 season. He had a great season. It's only been 1 season. I'll keep him in A tier. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Good. I like.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
A running back who I love so much, Dalvin,
brother of James Cook. Where are you putting Dalvin?
Elite tier. Is it a question? I don't think it's a question.
I gotta ask, for the format, but
yeah, no, I understand. I appreciate it. However, I don't think it's a question. You could have put it there, and I could have been blindfolded, and I could have guessed you put him in elite tier.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. Yeah, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, no, but he's really good.
He would be, I think, my top dual threat running back right now.
Top what?
Dual threat. I think it would be my top dual threat running back right now.
I disagree.
Not for you now?
I already told you what my top dual threat is. He's my favorite running back in the league.
Alvin Kamara. Well,
Eckler.
Wait, really?
Eckler. You think Kamara's my number 2. I told you Eckler, did what he did last year and pushed me over the edge. 1,800 all-purpose yards and 20 touchdowns. He did Camara better than Camara.
This is right. You did tell me this. I'm not sure why I didn't remember that, but
Besides for that,
well, at least
he's really good though. But he's less of a passing back.
Yeah, no,
he's less of a receiving back more than an actual halfback.
He does get in it, but when he does receive the ball,
he can go far.
Now
he can go far because the skill kicks in. Remember, the skill's the same past the line of scrimmage, right? Of course. It's just whether you're in the backfield or lined up to receive. It's one of the two, right? But
yeah, of course.
But all that into consideration, he's still an elite tier running back.
Absolutely elite tier.
He's really good and will be really good for years to come.
And will be. He just needs to not blow out his ACL again. Don't tear your ACL again.
Don't do that, and you're good to go.
Anyway, we are in the final 4. Travis Etienne. Where would you rank him? Because this is technically still based on prospect, because we have not seen a single snap from him.
B tier.
Where would you? He based on prospect B tier. Okay, yeah, I could see that. I can even rank him in A tier due to the fact that it's Travis Etienne. I mean, LSU running backs do very, very well for themselves.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, but if we were to put him on the same pedestal and try to rank him in the same way as James Cook and Kenneth Walker, I'd rather both of them.
Okay, yeah, I could see you.
Plus, he's also coming off of a fresh ACL tear. Not going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, so is J.K. Dobbins, and we still put him in A.
Yeah, but J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins has actually shown us stuff.
Exactly. That's my point.
Other thing. Anyway,
but we'll see what he can do, and that might change. But for now, we'll keep him in B tier. It's a good spot.
Yes. All right. Alexander Mattison, a great compliment back, great backup to Dalvin Cook. But for right now, I can only put him in a C.
C tier. Yep.
C, even high D, but C tier. Really,
C tier. He's a lot better than a lot of twos.
Yeah, and he could be a star. He could be a potential starter, but for right now, he's only a C. Only because he's backing up Dalvin, and you're not going to get much. You're not going to get many touches when Dalvin's eating up 30 carries a game.
Exactly.
So yep, there was the. Excuse me. So Dalvin's backup, Alexander Mattison, C tier. Anything else you want to say? There's not really much to say about him other than he's a good.
I think that's it. It is what it is, right? He's a 2, and he's a good 2, but he's a 2.
He's a good 2. He's a solid 2, but he's a 2.
So let's move on to, in my opinion, the best 1-2 punch in the running back game in the NFL today.
Now, where would you rank Kareem Hunt?
He's a B tier.
B tier? Okay.
Definitely.
I would even rank him in A tier when healthy. I could rank
him
when healthy because he is just that bad. He's just that good of a dual threat running back. He just has, and he's got agility, and he's has somehow got power in that little small frame of it. But yeah, no, I could see B tier for him.
Yeah.
B tier is a good spot for him.
That's the highest I could rank someone who splits carries. There's really no.
Yeah, no, and that's what we have done.
Now let's talk about, in my opinion, the number 1 skill-based running back in the league. Skill-based.
Gotcha.
Not taking away from anything from Derrick Henry, but take away Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb is a consistent 2,000-yard rusher.
2,000-yard rusher. Wow. Okay.
I mean, think about it. He had 1,400 yards, no problem, and Kareem Hunt ate 800 of those.
This is true, yeah. I could see it, but durability is the thing. The reason why he had 1,400 yards, I think, is because Kareem Hunt was eating up 800 of those. He
wouldn't have had any less.
Yards, but no, I'm not saying
14 by himself. I'm saying he would have just had more. How much more? I don't know. But I think 1,700 to 2,000 yards a season is a good bet.
I'm not saying that it would have decreased. I'm just saying he would have. I don't think he would have had 600 more yards.
I think he would have had a lot, though.
Yeah, he would have probably had close to 1,800 yards, but I don't think he was going to have 2,000 yards. But again,
I think he's an elite tier running back with Barry Sanders potential if he gets more carries.
Okay.
That's my take on him.
You think he's an elite tier? I would say he's an elite tier already just because.
No, I'm saying he is elite tier with Barry Sanders consistency potential.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, elite tier is a great place for Chubb. Chubb's really, really good. Great running back. It's big frame, big body, and deceptively agile. So and great in the passing game, great dual threat running back as well. So
the other thing is
that Georgia offense always has great dual threat running backs via DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, something I really, really love with Nick Chubb's situation, right, is he is in a division with probably the strongest running back core in the league.
Yeah.
Between all 4 teams.
Yeah.
If we're talking about just strongest across the board, that's the AFC South with Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor. I don't care about the other 2. But
Marlon Mack
all around amongst all 4 teams, that's the most consistent division, and Nick Chubb runs it like it's his own personal, orchestra.
I wouldn't say Nick Chubb runs it. I think it would be a split leadership with Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon.
Yeah, but Nick Chubb is better than Joe Mixon. I like Joe Mixon, but Nick Chubb is better.
That I got to disagree with you on. Only because
Joe Mixon's not splitting carries, and Nick Chubb has 200 more yards.
How many receiving yards did Joe Mixon have last year? And how many receiving? I'm going to search that up. Give me 1 second.
Actually, wait. I might be wrong about the 200-plus yards. I don't know how many yards he actually had.
Yards.
I might be confusing him with Dalvin. Give me a sec. Oh, he had 1259. He had 60 more yards, but he only had 228 carries, Yeah. Joe Mixon had more.
Yeah, but also Joe Mixon isn't working behind the Browns' offensive line. He's working behind the Bengals' offensive line.
Yeah, I agree. But I personally think Nick Chubb is better. We can agree to disagree.
Absolutely, and I am 100%. And why am I getting his career receiving yards? I just wanted his receiving yards this season. Man, come on. He had 262 receiving yards. Not bad. It's not the worst. Or sorry, that's not the best at all.
For who? Joe Mixon or Nick Chubb?
Mixon.
I think Chubb had more.
Hold on.
Check 2021.
Holy crap! He had 700. He had 751. Oh my lord. Okay, so I completely underestimated his thing. Anyway,
no.
What?
No. Hold on. He had 174.
Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. Oh, yeah. No, that said career receiving.
That's career.
It got me again.
I love it.
It got me
Just
again.
Hilarity for the fans.
Because I was confused. I was like, how does Joe Mixon have 1,300 receiving yards this season? And I'm like, oh, wait, no, that's his career. Anyway.
Wait a second. So that doesn't make any sense.
So as I said, it's just Joe Mixon's the better dual threat. So, I mean,
yes.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Nick Chubb's the better pure running back.
No, yes. But I would say due to the fact that the way the trajectory of the league, Joe Mixon is going to be better and is better now, in my opinion. But again, to each their own, agree to disagree, whatever you want to say.
I'll take it. It's not a fair. It's a very fair, very, very fair.
It's a valid argument.
Exactly.
Anyway,
okay.
That wraps up this list. We had to make a new tier due to the fact that King Henry, but
that Derrick Henry exists.
That wraps up this list. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. I hope you guys, if you guys agree, leave a comment down below. If you guys disagree, also leave a comment down below. Tell us who you think should have been in which categories. Tell us who you didn't think should have been in a category. And I hope.
Yeah, and tell us if we. Tell us if we did. What's it called? If we did a good job here, or tell us if we're idiots. I want to hear both.
Exactly. we want to hear all of them. And just wanted to say thank you to the 2/1 viewers that came out to the actual stream. Very much appreciate that. There's still somebody on here now, so we very much appreciate you. And you can also just this is going directly to YouTube, so you can check us out there at AX Tier Lists. It's just AX, capital AX Tier List. And I am just so happy and excited that we're able to do this. This was a little bit of a longer episode, but we had a lot more things to cover other than just 32 teams. So Avery, any closing comments, hot takes, anything else you wanna say to the fans?
No, I think this is a good list. I think I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, say whatever you want. If you want to just say hi, say hi. Yeah. If you want to leave a constructive comment, leave a constructive comment. We'll read them all.
Yeah.
We'll even reply to some.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll do our best to reply to everything. I
exactly
have very little to do over the day, so I will most likely be looking at that throughout it all.
We hope you had fun, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, and again, thank you guys for coming out to watch. This will be up on YouTube. Check that out, and we will see you guys later.